But I am not a tube, and I am going to fight against the concept that if you aren't a tube, you don't get to wear the 1920s. I am fighting this every step of the way, and I'm going to enjoy the 1920s. So, hello everyone, welcome back to the Nora Show. Today, I have completed the front and back moulage, so pre-sloper, something that doesn't have ease, something that fits perfectly to the body, and that if you actually sewed it in real, you're not going to move very well. But this is where you start. So I'm going to take this and I am going to move things out a little bit for the armpit and the shoulder to give me ability to move. This is the front sloper. As you can see, there's not much to this. Right over here is all of the measurements, and this is the trace of this. If you noticed, I am only putting darts here and here. I am skipping all darts up here because this is a 1920s look, and we didn't do darts up here. So we want that flat because, again, remember, tube. We are going to give the simulation effect of a tube by dropping from here down and not dipping in heavily right here. So your back, so my back sloper does not have, it does not follow my back. It follows from the shoulder to the high hip, and from here to the high hip, and from here straight down, with the ability to have blousing, or what they call a pouch within the Haslam design world. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to pull this line out, drop the armpit, pull this up a little bit, pull it out, and give myself room to also insert a sleeve, because as it is right now, I can't insert a sleeve. Let's begin. This is my current sloper for the 1920s. As you can see, there is no darting up here. Everything is flat through here. I am going to accept this darting because otherwise I'm not going to be able to shape myself into this. My goal is to fall straight down from the top curve all the way down into a gentle blousing effect, because that was a thing. The only correction that I actually need to do is right in here. I have wonky armpits and shoulders. I've already figured that out. I've talked about it before. And standard methods of constructing the armhole, not exactly working thus far. So I'm going to come back through and take out, I'm gonna estimate about 1/4 of an inch on both sides. I could probably get away with leaving it. Technically speaking, on a moulage, I should not have this material popping up right here. But I'm about to take my moulage, this, and make it into a sloper in which I can actually put sleeves into this. I'm going to leave this with the understanding that if I want to make a sleeveless garment, I will want to come back to this moulage, fix this, drop this just a touch, because this is slightly too much into the armpit for me to be comfortable. Time to draft. Now shush, I bought more shoes. I don't want judgment. Just sit back and enjoy it. I want to point out that the top of this has like a cording, and it's so pretty. And this little flip right here is a perfect little detail to indicate that this is a 1930s shoe. 1920s, 1930s. This is perfect. This is absolutely divine, as always. American Duchess is just, I'm in love. I'm obsessed. Take a look at that. Oh, look at that, just drama right there. Oh, I love drama. Okay, everyone. I've had an incredibly busy week. I don't exactly know where I am at with filming, but I do know where I'm at with my sewing project. So wherever I'm at with filming, if something is a little disjointed between there and here, that's why. I'm actually far more concerned about my finishing project than necessarily smooth filming that makes sense. All right, let's begin. This is where I'm currently at. I have drafted a 2D form of myself that is supposed to be skin tight. It looks wildly different than my first attempt that I did back in July of, I think, 2020. That was my first attempt. The armholes are wildly different, the shoulders are different, and I followed the same instructions as I did last time. What I noticed was this. Let's talk body dimensions. All the way around me is just my shoulder measurement around is about 2 inches larger than what is expected. I can confirm that this is not in my head because I've always had problems with shirts that I buy off of the rack because they're always jamming up into my armpit, which is really uncomfortable, by the way. I don't recommend this. All right. The other thing that I am noticing is that from my drafting, my original drafting, here to here, and then like this expansed up here above the curve, it seems to be a little more broad or a little more, there's more here than what is expected. So I'm seeing a difference in this sloper versus my last one because I knew this was something that I wanted to fix on this sloper versus because of my last one. So instead of doing the traditional shoulder adjustment after doing the 2D in the front and the 2D in the back, and I'm all flat on paper and everything, instead of doing the shoulder adjustment, which basically raises the front, raises the back, lowers the front, and then adds to the shoulder, which I really don't need. I'm starting to think my shoulders are more narrow in ratio to this measurement versus normal ratios. The reason why I'm talking about my body in this manner is because I do not want to ever make someone think that I have a perfect body or that I'm amazing and you can do it too if you just... No. This concept of perfect body needs to just stop pretty much now. There is no perfect body. There's just bodies, and how we treat them is the point. And that's it. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. Me. So my melange goes to sloper, and my sloper has ease. I have decided to do 1/4 inch ease. 1/4 inch ease on the front and back of a I keep messing up these two words. I don't know why I'm too worried about it. I don't think anyone in the world actually cares if it's a melange or sloper at this point. At least I don't think anyone who's watching me actually cares, but this is driving me nuts. Okay, Moulage goes to sloper. Sloper has ease. Mine, because I am a small woman. Because I am a small woman, I do not want to add a huge amount of ease. I think that 3/8 inch of an ease would be too much. A 1/4 inch will result in 1/2 inch ease on the front and 1/2 inch ease in the back, which will result in 1 inch of ease all the way around. If I am looking to sew something, let's say, like the dress that I'm wearing, which I did not sew, this was, I don't remember where I bought it actually, I'd have to look at the tag. If I were to sew a dress like this, I might not want the ease that I put in there. That would require a muslin. Granted, the material that this is made out of has some stretch. So, like all items, you should probably think about, is there stretch? Are you on the bias? How does it hang on your body? How do you want it to hang on your body? There is no perfect ease. It depends on the item and how you like your clothing to fit, and the item that you're actually making. How is that supposed to hang off of you? All right, this is what I need to do today. I need to cut out my brand new shiny sloper that has ease in it, and that I changed the armpit a little bit because the armpit needed to be dropped down about 1/4 inch, like normal off of a moulage. Normally the moulage is just too tall, too high up in the armpit, and you need to drop it down by 1/4 inch. So that's not abnormal. But I do want to check it because I think that if my armpit was not necessarily perfect on my sloper, and I couldn't quite tell on that, I really want to make sure that it's correct on the moulage, and this is where proof of concept happens. So, cut out this, sew over there, do a little bit of a cleanup because this room is an absolute wreck right now. I've had too many projects going on that are completely not sewing related, but all my sewing is in the living room, so things get messy. Alrighty, let's see what I can do. Time to sew. This is my 1920s version of a sloper that would fit me. If you notice, there is one dart that comes right here. This allows the fabric to, well, make room for these and then gently fall down. There is no contouring in the back, so I'm thinking this is actually super simple to sew, but it works. Now, to get in, I made a little slit right here, and I didn't entirely sew this up. So, give me a second. Did you see how that worked, where I was able to pinch this, and as long as I got the 2 corners that needs to fit right there, pinched, I was able to then pinch, pull, and the rest of this comes together perfectly. Because you need to understand, this is completely trued up. So this corner meets this corner, this corner meets this corner, this corner, everything is also at 90-degree angles so that when they match, it matches. Okay, so I am in a tube. If you've noticed, there's a little bit more room right here, but this is room for a sleeve. If this is jammed up here, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna have the ability to move your arms. So you need a little bit more room right there, and I am comfortable with where this is at. In fact, I think this is gonna be super comfortable in general. Okay, and yeah, there's a little bit of blousing here, but again, 1920s silhouette. This is a side dart. This is the armpit dart. Wow, I don't feel like that's right at all. Okay, the armpit dart on something like this does not need to be sewn up, especially if you're putting in a sleeve. If I'm going to do a sleeveless dress, I'm going to very much draft another one of these that allows me to have this actually fit. Funny enough, I think what I need to do to make this fit is just simply do the dart right there. And that would be a sleeveless dress for the 1920s. But then again, I still want no darts at all. So I'm working on that. All right. I would not use this for anything other than drafting 1920s patterns, period. So this is a very specific sloper. So much so that we're gonna go ahead and call this my 1920s Haslam Foundation, because I like the shape. This is gonna work, especially for the next project, which is going to be, and I'm making that face because I don't know at the time of this taping what it's gonna be. I don't know. Gonna be something. Here, let me try this again. I don't know what I'm sewing, but I bet my choice of whatever it is that I put here is fabulous, and I'm super excited about it. Wait, one more thing. I am so stinking excited about my next sewing project. I don't know what it is, but in truth, I'm actually really, really excited because with this feels so much better and more accurate than my last one. I actually think that this is going to result in some spectacular sewing. I am very excited about the results on this. I know this is like so boring. I mean, this is the most boring thing on earth. But this is gonna allow me to create everything that I really want to create. So join me on Discord, check the description box below for the link. Share the video, give it a like, put a comment below. May your sewing intention ever be perfect. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Okay, everyone, this is where we're getting super sewing geeky, and I mean geeky. This is my original sloper from the 2020. From 2020, it's July. This is my original Moulange of July 11th, 2020. This is the back. This is the front, and you can tell that I had glued over this and taped over it so that because things had gotten that confusing. Now take a look at, and I'm not sure how the overlay is going to work on this, but we're going to see if this works. Now I didn't change dimensions all that much. I really didn't. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at, all right, my height, my bust point didn't change. My neck point did not change. My waist, however, interesting enough, ended up here, and that's where it is on the original sloper. That is interesting. So my bust to waist actually lowered on this, and I completely agree with that. I personally think, I know that there are issues here. I am very well aware. Okay, take a look at the armpit here. I have repeatedly stated that I have armpit issues. This, however, is a very different armpit. This is that's the original line. This comes all the way, wait, there. This is a full, goodness, more than 1/4 inch in. This has been dropped by almost a full inch. This is not coming in nearly as much. I'm actually thinking that this is, I really like my new one, because I think that this to here, which is my cross bust point, this is at least it's almost 3/4 of an inch further out, which is correct because I said that this was always a little too tight on me. I like my neckline. It's not as scooped, but I think this will work just fine with my body. All right, let's take a look at the original result. I think this will be far more dramatic. All right, so this ended up being the sloper, which means that it has ease, on the original one. And we're gonna actually just put this right over the sloper from before. Okay, and then there's that. Take a look at the complete difference in the neckline. There's the shoulder length. That is the same. However, I actually pulled that out more on this sloper, but I completely changed it on the sloper, not the melange. I keep saying that wrong. Okay, take a look at the armpit difference though. Okay, so let's take all of this away. This is today's melange. This is the resulting sloper of what actually fits. Take a look at what actually happened here. My shoulder had to come down in the front by 2 inches. I had to drop my shoulder by 2 inches. This absolutely affected my my neckline, but it actually fits better. Let's line this up again. All right. The bust point always moves with your armpit, so these darts will follow. Your cross bust, I ended up moving it out 1/8 of an inch, like you're supposed to, for ease, to be able to move a sleeve in there and not have dumb things happen. Now, I also, there's my waist, and it's on the inside. Because this is the 1920s, we're skipping the waist entirely, and we're dropping from the armpit to the high hip, almost a perfect straight line. And that's simply because we're ignoring the waist. It's the 1920s. So technically speaking, I should totally wear the 1920s for like a major meal because there's plenty of room. Because right there means that I've got 1 inch of ease right here. I bet I have another inch on the other side. That's almost 4 inches of ease for my waist. So that's amazing. This is idiotically comfortable. All right. We dropped the bust guideline and the armpit by 3/4 of an inch. We moved everything out 1/4 of an inch for ease, for a total of 1 inch ease all the way around, everywhere except for the waist, in which I get 4 because I went from here to here and I just did a gentle curve in. Very, very, very gentle. I used my French ruler for that and I completely eyeballed it, and it seems to be just fine. All right, that's all.